And we have our second and final college football semifinal game between Washington and Texas. This is the All-State Sugar Bowl, and this is played in New Orleans. Washington is a 4-point underdog, even though being ranked number 2. Over under 63.5. Texas, again, 4-point favorite. They're ranked number 3. Pretty good matchup. I actually like this matchup more and more the more I look at it. But I'm going to send it off to you first. Who do you think's going to win this game? What's your prediction? And moving forward, I'm going to just put that out. Do you think there's any way? I mean, obviously there's a way, but do you think there's any way either of these teams is going to be national champions?
No. I don't see any chance. No. I think the only shot. No, I don't.
Well,
especially if it's Texas Bama, good night. I mean, Texas ain't beating them twice this year. I don't think Texas will be there. I think it's going to be Washington representing in the national championship. Texas has kind of flown under my radar all season with that 12-1 record. I honestly kind of forgot about them most of the year. They did obviously have the win against Alabama, but we've talked about this. Bama sucked back when Texas beat them. Still a great win. I mean, it's still Alabama. Their worst games are better than most teams' good games, but it just wasn't the same Alabama team that we're seeing now. I don't think they really stand a chance against Bama at today's age where Bama is now. But other than that, who they beat? I mean, they beat Kansas. They beat Baylor. Both teams I'm not impressed with. Lost to Oklahoma. Other than that, they kind of just rolled through a down year in the Big 12. Not really impressed. I mean, Oklahoma State, they blew them out, but Oklahoma State was up and down all season. Just not that impressed with Texas this year, even though, I mean, they are a good team, but I don't know. To me, they're kind of the odd man out in this college football playoff, even though they are favored. But Washington, obviously, the 2 big wins against Oregon, won the Pac-12 undefeated. I think they've just been playing with a chip on their shoulder all season. I don't think anyone expected them to make it this far, especially undefeated with a couple of big wins in there. Obviously, the Pac-12 was a pretty high-octane conference this year, a lot of ranked matchups. Washington, I started betting against them down the stretch quite a bit because I thought they were going to blow it, and they just kept finding ways to win. So I think +4 put the chip back on their shoulder. I think they like being in this dog role, and I ultimately think Penix is probably the difference maker in this game. I think he's extremely good. He's not underrated by any means. I mean, he's a very popular Heisman type caliber quarterback, but I don't know. He doesn't maybe get talked about quite as much as as the other guys. So I just think, they like being in this dog role. They've been winning all year in it. When you doubt them, that's when they come out and look their best, just like they did against Oregon in the Pac-12 championship game. I think they're going to do it again here. I think Washington covers. I think they win outright. I think they head to the national championship and get their doors blown off of them.
I love it. I love the same exact thing. Everything you said. Love Washington a lot at the +4. Think they went outright on the money line. I mean, like you said, how many times has Washington been doubted? They were 9.5-point underdogs against Oregon in the Pac-12 championship after they beat Oregon. They beat them at home, sure, but 9.5-point underdogs for being undefeated and beating this team that they're now playing again. Again, it's really hard to beat a team twice. I get it, but they have been this underdog all year. And like you said, Texas has gone under the radar. We forget, why was Texas never in discussion for being that team that got jumped by Georgia or Florida State? This Texas team, all they did was they beat a miserable, at the time, Alabama team in week 1, week 2? Like, that's all. If you looked at Alabama, Milroe got benched the next game. They were down, or there was 3-3.5 against USF. This was not the same Alabama team that they are now. And I mean, even now, I still have my things about Alabama. We just talked about them, but they should have lost to Auburn. Like this, it's not a Nick Saban team of past. So yes, Texas, great win at the time. But the more we're looking at it, the more we're dissecting it, it wasn't that good of a win. And then you roll through a Pac-12 or a Big 12. The Big 12 was trash. Big 12 was almost as bad as the Big 10. And I think the Big 10's big boys are better than the Big 12's big boys. I think Ohio State goes undefeated in the Big 12. I think Penn State might go maybe undefeated, maybe one loss. Like, we had Kansas being ranked up there. We had Oklahoma State being ranked up there. Oklahoma's fine, but still not great. They finished at 13th, I think. Like, I don't know.
Lost to them.
Right. Right. And like, they really haven't beat anyone big. So I think this was one of the teams that just everyone was expecting them to be in the college football playoff if they finish the season undefeated because of that one win against a crappy Alabama team. So I don't buy the hype at all. And I love Washington. I love them as this underdog spot. This is my favorite bet of the day. Obviously the Michigan game I'm super excited about, but that's more emotion than logic. I love Washington in this game. I think they might win this one by 10 plus points. So Washington money line. I will bet it. Washington +4. I will bet it. I honestly like the under in this game. It's going to sound crazy. I'm not going to touch it just because it's Pac-12 and Big 12. There's no defense on either of those conferences, but I might lean with the under. I just don't think Texas is going to get going, and I really like Washington. So I'm glad we did agree, and it's crazy, on the final two bowl games or semifinals of the year. But yeah, it's been a hell of a ride. I'm so excited for New Year's Day to watch these. We will have one more video coming out for the national championship game. That one might be a similar length as these last couple ones. These are getting up to 6-7 minutes. They're just more important games, let's be honest. We have more to talk about, especially if Michigan's there. It could be an hour-long episode. But, I'm super excited for this. Go ahead.
We might get Ben involved on that one,
right,
with it being the championship. So, yeah, it might be a longer one. And then before you throw us out of here, I got to ask you, do you think there's any shot the winner of this game wins the championship?
I think if it's Alabama, I think Alabama rolls either of these teams. If it's Michigan, I think Michigan's going to struggle against Washington. I think so. I think the passing attack is just going to be Michigan hasn't played a passing attack really. If you Ohio State has the best wide receivers in the country. It's not even a question. Well, maybe Florida State, but that quarterback just wasn't there. And I think Penix is a passing quarterback that Michigan hasn't seen this year. So I'm worried about that. Texas, I think Michigan can manhandle. I think they play a similar style of game. I think Michigan's better at almost every single position than Texas. So and Washington's probably going to be a 7-point underdog, and Washington has been that all year, and they're a scary team as the underdog. So I am nervous about Washington. Ultimately, I think Michigan's better than both of these teams, and usually the better team wins. But yeah, I'm not worried about Texas at all. Washington scares me just because of they can score a 75-yard touchdown on any play. So I don't think Texas can do that. Washington can just throw it deep, and Michigan loves to play man. If you get beat, good luck. But I'm most scared about Alabama for sure. And just sucks we get them in the semis.
Yep.
But yeah, super exciting games. Can't wait for New Year's Day. And again, look forward to a longer, more in-depth preview coming out next week for our college football national championship game. Super excited for that. Hopefully, again, Michigan is in it. But if not, we will still have the same energy that comes to that. But thank you for joining the ride of the college football bowl season. Hopefully you found these videos entertaining and helpful. We really appreciate you guys. If you did think these were useful, please like, subscribe, comment, tell us it. We'd really appreciate it. It's a way for us to feel good about what we did. So hopefully this all wasn't for waste. But thank you guys. Good luck on this bowl season. Good luck on New Year's Day. And we will see you in a week. Peace.
See you next year, guys.
Oh, nice.
You better start listening to the Better in Green podcast. You will not regret it. Trust me. And hey, I'm Dean Blandino.
Welcome to Better in Green, eh? To Better in Green, eh? To Better in Green, eh? Listening to cash out, that's what it's all about. Come on, let's make cash now. We always on spot and we cover all spot from the bottom to the top, hey. Shout out to Ethan, shout out to Wyatt, shout out to Ben. Welcome to our podcast, Better in Green.